What happened to Albert Einstein's brain? Albert Einstein was a theoretical physicist born in Germany. He is considered as one of the geniuses of 20th century. He won the Nobel Prize for his theory of relativity, E=mc2, and the law of the photoelectric effect. His brain was so special that after 7.5 hours of his death, his brain was stolen by the doctors who were in charge. When Einstein died on April 18, 1955, in Princeton Hospital, his brain was stolen by the pathologist on call, Thomas Stoltz Harvey. Einstein never wanted his brain or any body part to be studied or worshipped. But Harvey took his brain without the consent from his family, but when he was caught, he reasoned with his family that he wanted to study his brain purely for scientific purpose. Ronald Clark's 1979 biography of Einstein states, he had insisted that his brain should not be used for research and that he be cremated. But more recent research has suggested that this may not be true and that the brain was removed and preserved without the permission of either Einstein or his close relatives. Hans Albert Einstein, the physicist's elder son, endorsed the removal after the event, but insisted that his father's brain should be used only for research to be published in scientific journals of high standing. Scientific studies have suggested that regions involved in speech and language are smaller, while regions involved with numerical and spatial processing are larger. Other studies have suggested an increased number of glial cells in Einstein's brain. Harvey removed and weighed the brain, which weighed 1,230 grams. Harvey then took the brain to a lab at the University of Pennsylvania, where he dissected it into several pieces. Some of the pieces he kept to himself while others were given to leading pathologists. Harvey injected 50% formalin through the internal carotid arteries and afterwards suspended the intact brain in 10% formalin. He then dissected it into about 240 blocks, each about 1 cubic centimeter, and encased the segments in a plastic-like material called collodion. Harvey also removed Einstein's eyes, and gave them to Henry Abrams, Einstein's ophthalmologist. In 1978, Einstein's brain was rediscovered in Harvey's possession by journalist Stephen Levy. Its sections had been preserved in alcohol in 2 large mason jars within a cider box for over 20 years. In 2010, Harvey's heirs transferred all of his holdings constituting the remains of Einstein's brain to the National Museum of Health and Medicine, including 14 photographs of the whole brain, which was now in fragments, never before revealed to the public. Harvey had reported that Einstein had no parietal operculum in either hemisphere, but this finding has been disputed. In 1999, further analysis by a team at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario revealed that his parietal operculum region in the inferior frontal gyrus in the frontal lobe of the brain was vacant. Researchers at McMaster University speculated that the vacancy may have enabled neurons in this part of his brain to communicate better. This unusual brain anatomy, missing part of the Sylvian fissure, may explain why Einstein thought the way he did, said Professor Sandra Whittleson, who led the research published in The Lancet. This study was based on photographs of the whole brain autopsy in 1955 by Harvey and not a direct examination of the brain. Professor Laurie Hall of Cambridge University, commenting on the study, said, "To say there is a definite link is one bridge too far, at the moment. But magnetic resonance and other new technologies are allowing us to start to probe those very questions." More mysteries of his brain still remain unsolved, But with the advancement in science and technology, they might soon get solved.